Hello everyone and welcome back to Rinverse. So it is finally been a month of owning this beautiful bike, and I have a lot to share with you guys. So in this video I'm gonna give you my brutally honest take about the Xtreme 160 R4V. So I'm gonna provide you with every single detail: how much money I've spent on it, how much kilometers I've driven, what's my experience, what problems I have faced, and many more things that I want to share with you guys.
First of all, I want to say that I have enjoyed this bike so much. It was my dream to own this bike, and I think I have made the right decision going for the Xtreme 160 R4V. The purpose of making these videos for me is to show you guys how amazing this bike is and how much I like owning this bike. And I hope I can build a community of people who share the same opinion as me about this bike.
So, as much as I love this motorcycle, it hasn't been perfect, of course, and it has given me some issues. If you're a viewer of my channel, you know what kind of issues that I'm talking about, but I'm gonna tell them in this video as well. So let's start with the positives first. So in terms of looks, I am a very big fan of the way this bike looks. I've always loved how muscular, how aggressive, how different it looks from its competitors. Of course, looks is a very subjective thing. You can like it, you can hate it. Yeah, it can be one of the key points of buying this motorcycle, is the way it looks. It looks absolutely beautiful. Another strong point of the Xtreme 160 R4V is the engine. Of course, all of you know how this bike is the fastest in its segment, but that doesn't really matter in day-to-day life. It matters how accessible the power is, especially in the city, in small rides that I've experienced. You will never feel lack of power. It is very comfortable. The power band is extremely accessible, and the engine is absolutely brilliant. And of course, Hero has worked on how smooth the engine is, and I promise you're gonna like the way it rides. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the handling, and this is probably the best thing about this bike. I enjoy riding this bike in the corners a lot, and this gives you a different kind of confidence. I have never experienced that. The KYB folks at the front and the Showas at the back, they are absolutely brilliant. I recommend, if you are in the market for 160cc, this is the best handling motorcycle, I believe, in the segment.
So the next thing that I want to talk about is the braking. Of course, you guys know this has dual channel ABS, but the rear brake it does not have the bite that I needed. I expected it to bite a bit more. I recommend you to go take a test ride before buying this to check the rear brake if you like it or not. But when it comes to braking, the front does the majority of the work. The front one is very good. The bite is great, and you're gonna have to rely on the front brakes more in most of the cases. Also, this bike is very light. For 160, I think it's one of the lightest in the segment. The N160 is around 154, so it's lighter than the N160. And you're gonna feel how light this bike is when you go ride it, when you have to maneuver it from the parking spots. I think this is a much more livable bike in the city, especially if you're a skinny guy like me. It's gonna be much better for you, and if you're a beginner, it's a much better option.
In terms of reliability, I have had some small issues with it. Of course, if you have seen the oil leak video of this bike. So around 20 days ago I had an oil leak. I'm gonna put the link of the video in the description so you can go check it out of the cost and everything. So I had to replace this gasket and the small things, and yeah, that was one of the bigger issues that I faced. Now let's talk about mileage. So I recently posted a short where I calculated the mileage after the first service. So before first service it was 33 to 34, and after the first service the highest it has gotten is 38 point, I think it was 76, and yeah, that is a pretty decent mileage for 160. Of course, if you care a lot about mileage, you should not buy this. I think the N160 is much better in terms of mileage, because it's a 4V. 4V engines are not very good in mileage. The N160s are 2-valve engines, so they provide you with better mileage. The 4V, this and also the Apache 160 or 4V are not very good in mileage, but still 38 to 40, you can expect 40 kilometers per liter after the first service, so that's the best it's gonna give. So if you care mostly about mileage, this is not the bike for you. One more thing that I want to share. So my father is around 5'5", and he finds this bike to be a bit tall for him. I'm around 5'8", so I don't really have any issue with this bike. So if you're interested and you're around 5'5", 5'4", please go and check the bike in the dealership before buying this, because I think this is not very suitable for shorter riders. Also, one of the main cons, main issues of this motorcycle is the headlamp. This is not a very bright headlamp, and I have had a lot of issues with night visibility, especially the high beam. The throw is concentrated in such a small area that it feels pretty much useless riding it. The low beam is fine, it's good enough, but yeah, if you're planning to buy this bike, that's something you should know. I did not know that the high beam is going to be that bad. If you're someone who's going to buy this motorcycle, I highly recommend that you fit some aftermarket fog lamps. I am planning to get some aftermarket fog lamps too, and yeah, that's something that Hero needs to fix. And yeah, if it had a projector setup, that would be much better for riding in the night. Of course, another thing, this Kevlar brown variant, it may be very hard to get in some states. I have had a lot of people talk about how this color is unavailable in their city. For me also, finding this color was very hard. I traveled to 3 different dealerships. They all said that we don't really have this color, and we don't really order this color because it's hard to sell, so that's why they don't really have it. So it took a lot of convincing, and then they agreed to order one for me. So I had to wait around 15 days to go buy this. So at the end, why did I buy this motorcycle? I just think this motorcycle is one of the best in the segment. It's very underrated. People don't really buy this motorcycle. People go for the N160s and the Apaches. They are everywhere. Everywhere you go, you see a Apache or a N160, and this is very uncommon. That's why I chose this. It is something different. Not everyone really buys it, and that really made it stand apart for me. And also I love the way this bike looks. Of course, after riding it, owning it, I think I made the right decision. And yeah, I'm really pleased with this bike.
So now it's finally the time to tell you how much I have spent on this motorcycle. So this is the complete list of how much I have spent on this bike. So the total cost of the bike itself was 1.68 lakhs, and after riding it for 693 kilometers, I have filled it with more than 2000 rupees of fuel. I have also spent some money on accessories like the leg guard, a footrest for ladies, and also a tank pad that I got from Flipkart. I had an oil leak and fixing it cost me around 105 rupees. The first service cost for me was 13.99 because I went for the synthetic fuel. If you go for the normal fuel, you're probably gonna save some money there. And then I had a puncture. So that was everything that I wanted to share with you. If there's anything you want me to say, anything more that you want me to share, please comment down below and I will make another video on it. Besides the small issues here and there, I have loved owning this bike and I highly recommend if you are in the market for 160, please consider this motorcycle because this is very underrated. So that's it for today. Ride safe and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.